You are not who you think you are. Your voice does not belong to you. It may sound like a radical statement, but it is the absolute truth. The way you speak, the tone you adopt, and even the words you choose are not entirely your own decisions. They are the reflection of countless invisible influences that have followed you since the moment you were born. Your voice, that tool you use every day, is not truly yours. And the most terrifying part is that you probably believe it is. Have you ever stopped to think about why you speak the way you do? Why does your accent change depending on who you're with? It's not a coincidence. It's not just a habit. It's social survival. The way you express yourself, the way you modulate your words, defines more than you imagine about your place in the world. It defines your tribe, your status, your social class, and most unsettling of all, the power you have or think you have. What you say reveals who you are, but more importantly, who you are trying to be. Think for a moment. Do you remember a time when you felt pressured to change the way you spoke just to fit in? Maybe it was when you imitated someone to avoid standing out, or when you softened your accent so others wouldn't mock you. Perhaps it was when you chose to use certain words just to sound smarter, more confident. Every word you speak is in constant transformation, not just because of your identity, but because of all the times you adjusted your voice to be accepted, to be seen as correct in the eyes of others. It's a game of adaptation that most people don't even notice. It's strange how others can form an impression of you based solely on how you sound. It doesn't matter how brilliant you are or how true your ideas may be. If your tone, your rhythm, or your accent don't align with social expectations, you will be underestimated. Even if you have a deep understanding of a subject or a unique perspective, if your voice doesn't resonate in the right way, others may ignore what you're really saying. The way we speak has become a filter through which the value of our words is measured. From the accent, which can reveal your background or level of education, to the rhythm, which can be interpreted as confidence or a lack of it. These factors are so deeply ingrained in social expectations that, without realizing it, we start judging others not only by what they say, but by how they say it. And worst of all, we often don't even notice how that judgment affects us. Yes, it's unfair, but it's reality. You have witnessed it. And more importantly, you have fallen into the trap yourself. We all have. When you hear someone with an accent different from yours, what do you assume? Maybe you think that person isn't as educated, or that they're not qualified enough to be heard. Or when someone speaks too fast or too slow, you judge them without thinking. The same goes for people who use overly complex words. We see them as pretentious. Sound familiar? What you don't realize is that this perception isn't actually about the words themselves, but about how those words feel when you hear them. But here's the truly unsettling part. Your voice doesn't just betray you in front of others, it betrays you in front of yourself. Science has proven that the way we speak profoundly influences how we feel. Speaking in a deeper tone can make us feel more dominant. Speaking slowly can give us the confidence we lack. The intonation we use with the world doesn't just shape how others perceive us, it shapes our own self-perception. Every time you imitate an accent, change your tone in an important conversation, or remove a word because you don't think it fits, you are modifying your identity. You are fine-tuning a version of yourself to fit the mold the world expects. The difference between being yourself and being what others expect is a matter of control. Did you know your voice is also a reflection of your fears? Yes, the fears you carry. Fear of not fitting in, fear of being judged, fear of not being good enough. But the most terrifying part? Those fears aren't always yours. You inherited them. Do you remember when someone told you that you sounded too informal? Or that you spoke too formally? Every comment, every joke, every correction has left a mark on how you communicate. And little by little, without realizing it, you stopped being yourself and started speaking the way others expected you to. You might wonder, is everything you say really designed to influence others? The answer is probably not. While some master the art of the voice and use it to shape the world around them, most people don't even realize they are being shaped by their surroundings. And worst of all, they're doing it without even noticing. Every time you change the way you speak, every time you imitate someone, you are giving up control over your identity. You are letting your environment define you instead of defining yourself. Voice is power. Lack of control is vulnerability. Most people focus on what they say, on the content, on the words. But the most important thing, the factor that truly makes a difference, is how that information sounds. The way you use your voice can turn your message into something completely different. Words have the power to impress, but the voice has the power to convince, to inspire, to captivate. You've seen it in leaders, in politicians, in public speakers. They don't just master the content of what they say, they master how they say it. They control every pause, every inflection, every precise word. And you don't even notice it. You are being programmed just by listening. Because the voice has a power that goes beyond the obvious. It influences the unconscious. Now imagine, what if you could master your voice? If you could speak from your true self, without fear of judgment, without needing to fit into others' expectations? Would you dare to leave behind the edited version of yourself? Because if you don't control your voice, you will never control how you are perceived. And if you don't control how you are perceived, you will never have the opportunities you truly deserve. The world is full of people with great ideas, but not all of them succeed. Why? Because not everyone knows how to communicate those ideas effectively. The difference between being heard and being ignored isn't in what you know, it's in how you say it. Voice isn't just sound, it's an influence. And if you don't use it well, someone else will use it for you. So, are you speaking with your real voice? The final question is this: are you really speaking with your true voice, or are you speaking with an edited version of yourself? Because if you're not speaking in your true tone, you will never know the real impact you can have. If this made you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Tell me, have you ever felt like your voice doesn't truly reflect who you are? Don't forget to hit like if you enjoyed this, subscribe for more content like this, and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. And if you know someone who might be interested, share it. See you in the next video where we'll explore more about how your voice can change your life.